Princess Diana's brief life and untimely death were filled with drama, and her funeral was no different. Buried on September 6, 1997, Diana's funeral was watched on television by billions around the world, and by millions more in person. Yet even today, there are conflicting opinions about the event. One major point of controversy: the royal family's reaction to it all. Their slow public acknowledgement of Diana's passing, along with Queen Elizabeth's reported insistence that the family stay at Balmoral Castle, where they were on a summer holiday, added to the tension. The public generally felt that the Queen and the rest of the family were too cold in their lack of a response. Queen Elizabeth then waited 5 days before flying the Union Jack flag at half-staff at Buckingham Palace, which to many people seemed too long. Ultimately, Queen Elizabeth and the family came back to London, and on September 5th, the Queen gave a live broadcast address for the first time in 50 years. In her statement, the Queen noted her admiration for Diana as a mother, saying, "She was an exceptional and gifted human being. In good times and bad, she never lost her capacity to smile and laugh, nor to inspire others with her warmth and kindness."
I admired and respected her for her energy and commitment to others, and especially for her devotion to her 2 boys.
The Household Cavalry Mounted Regiment at Horse Guards manages the soldiers who make up what is called the Life Guard. These soldiers have worked in this capacity since 1660, and every single weekday the soldiers ride horseback from Hyde Park Barracks in Knightsbridge to Buckingham Palace, where they change places at 11 a.m. Members of the Life Guard were selected to escort Princess Diana's coffin through London ahead of her funeral. As reported by the Los Angeles Times, Diana's funeral was a blend of modernity and tradition. Even Buckingham Palace acknowledged the unusual nature of Diana's funeral. A spokesperson for the royal family told the newspaper that the funeral wasn't exactly royal, but was exactly Diana. As they said, the status is irrelevant. This is a unique funeral for a unique person. Prince William and Prince Harry, children at the time of their mother's death, walked behind their mother's coffin alongside their father, Prince Charles, their grandfather, Prince Philip, and their uncle, Charles Spencer. In retrospect, some have considered this to be a harmful decision for the children. Harry, in particular, has spoken out in recent years about the impact that walking behind his mother's coffin had on him, especially as he was only 12 and still struggling to process the loss. In June 2017, Harry opened up to Newsweek about the experience. As he put it, "My mother had just died, and I had to walk a long way behind her coffin, surrounded by thousands of people watching me, while millions more did on television. I don't think any child should be asked to do that, under any circumstances. I don't think it would happen today." Harry has also admitted that the day of his mother's funeral and her untimely passing, in general, had a serious impact on the rest of his life. As he told the outlet, he began to try to understand himself in his mid-20s after getting very close to a total breakdown. Charles Spencer gave a lengthy and pointed eulogy at his sister's funeral.
"I stand before you today, the representative of a family in grief."
He reportedly made Queen Elizabeth angry with parts of his speech, including a passage that indicated he intended to raise Prince William and Prince Harry in a way that would run somewhat defiantly against the royal family, stating, "I pledge that we, your blood family, will do all we can to continue the imaginative and loving way in which you are steering these 2 exceptional young men, so that their souls are not simply immersed by duty and tradition, but can sing openly as you planned." Diana and her brother were close in their childhood, and he continued to advocate for his sister long after her passing. While the fashion choices of the royal family weren't front and centre at Princess Diana's funeral, there was a fair bit of attention paid to the suit that the then Prince Charles wore. The most notable was that he was wearing blue and not the standard black, more commonly associated with funerals. The attention was compounded by the fact that Prince William, Prince Harry, and Diana's brother all wore black. And yet, the truth of the matter is a lot more sincere than some might have thought. Richard Eden, an editor for the Daily Mail, explained to Palace Confidential that Charles wore the suit because it's what Diana would have preferred. As Eden said, "If you look at Prince Charles at her funeral, he didn't wear black. He wore a navy suit. and that's because Diana liked him best in navy. Eden went on to note that both Prince William and Prince Harry wore navy suits in 2021 when they unveiled a statue of their mother in the sunken garden at Kensington Palace. The Daily Express reported that Diana even helped pick out the suit that Charles ultimately wore to her funeral, and that the future king wore the suit as a nod to the years that the two were married to one another. Princess Diana was known and loved by people all over the world, and some of those people included celebrities who quietly attended her funeral to pay their respects. These guests included her close friend Elton John, as well as the singer and pop star George Michael. And there were a number of other singers at the funeral as well, such as Luciano Pavarotti, Mariah Carey, Sting, and Bryan Adams. Diana's funeral was also attended by a number of actors and Hollywood elite as well, including Steven Spielberg, Tom Hanks, Nicole Kidman, and Kidman's then-husband Tom Cruise. Diana had been introduced to Cruise and Kidman when she attended the London premiere of Far and Away in 1992. Hillary Rodham Clinton also attended Diana's funeral and did so under the direction that she must avoid taking questions from the press while in the UK. Elton John was a close friend of Princess Diana, and he was asked to perform a song in her honour at her funeral. John ended up performing Candle in the Wind 97, a song that was based on his hit Candle in the Wind, which was originally written about Marilyn Monroe. John asked his songwriter Bernie Taupin to rework the original to fit the moment, because the original was a favourite of Princess Diana. Interestingly, it seems that John almost didn't perform this song at all. In December 2021, records from Westminster Abbey revealed that John initially planned to sing Your Song at the funeral instead, but that draft of the programme was changed by the Dean of Westminster Abbey, who requested that the song be swapped out. The song went on to become enormously popular, ultimately being crowned the second highest-selling single of all time. Elton John donated the profits to charity. After it took several days for Buckingham Palace to issue a comment on Diana's passing, Queen Elizabeth was accused of not showing enough emotion. And after some initial confusion about why there was no official statement given immediately after, soon that confusion gave way to anger.
Just typical reaction of the royal family, stick to protocol, don't worry about human emotions.
Later, the Queen surprised some when she chose to bow to Princess Diana's coffin as it was driven in front of her. The move was unusual because all members of the royal family are required to bow or curtsy to the sitting monarch, but this doesn't typically work the other way around, and since the Queen was not required to bow or otherwise physically indicate anything at all, this was both a breach of protocol and a vivid, silent, but powerful way to honour her former daughter-in-law. But not everyone in the family demonstrated the same kind of respect. Princess Margaret, the Queen's sister, did not bow when Diana's coffin passed. Just as her sister's decision to honour Diana was noticed, Margaret's decision to not do so was noticed. Andrew Morton wrote that Margaret gave the most cursory of nods, looking for all the world like she wanted to be elsewhere. Some outlets have reported that when it came down to planning Princess Diana's funeral, and more specifically deciding what role Prince William and Prince Harry would have in the funeral itself, King Charles and Diana's brother Charles Spencer had a major disagreement. In his book, Battle of Brothers, The Inside Story of a Family in Tumult, author Robert Lacey claimed that Spencer believed Diana never would have wanted her sons to walk behind her coffin. Lacey wrote that the phone call between the two men had ended with the Earl slamming down the phone on the future king after Charles had made an offensive comment about Diana. The author added that Spencer felt that Charles and the royal family were taking the funeral and using it for their own purposes. Whatever the motivation, in the end, King Charles got his way, and Harry and William joined the procession. While approximately 2,000 people attended Princess Diana's funeral at Westminster Abbey, many thousands more showed up and lined the streets of London on the day of the observance. And at one point, the line to sign the condolence book at St James's Palace took nearly 7 hours for mourners to work their way through. The Evening Chronicle estimated that 3 million people may have shown up in the streets of London to honour Princess Diana. Of those, tens of thousands were believed to have lined the path towards Westminster Abbey, where the funeral service was held. The newspaper also noted that there were other ways that tribute was paid to Diana, including the fact that across the region, shops, restaurants, and charity stores were closed to show respect. Additionally, mourners showed a strong desire to take Diana's favourite flower to stand outside the abbey, with the Evening Chronicle claiming that the flower, a white lily called Casablanca, was sold out of London flower shops. In addition to those who were able to be there in person, the funeral was watched on television by another 2.5 billion people. The world mourned the loss of the People's Princess together.